welcome to the MotherRucker podcast. My name is Lysanne and I'm here to chat to you about all things sling every other week. With me today is Kayleigh from Heritage Slings. Kayleigh, hello.
Our timing was off. We've been trying to get here together for so long. I just threw my toddler in for a nap. The baby just woke up, but doing pretty good.
Oh, bless you. I know. I think this was our third schedule, wasn't it? Yeah, because we both had to cancel for various reasons. But we're here. We've made it.
Exactly. I think that's just mom life.
Well, that's it. And, you know, cross-continent because you're not English, are you?
I'm not. I'm all the way in Canada.
Yay! We've got international.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you so much for joining me. Tell us a bit about yourself. Who is your family?
So I'm Kayleigh, and then I'm married to my husband. It'll be 5 years next year, and we have two little ones. We have a 2.5-year-old. Actually, he's 3 in November, so he's basically 3. I know, it's wild. And then an 8-month-old who's kind of toddling around here behind me. And I say toddling, she's just started pushing herself walking with
At 8 months.
Yeah, I'm so tired. So scared. But yeah, she's already on the move. It's insane. And then we have 2 big Dobermans, and they keep us nice and busy.
Mm-hmm. So as busy as the kids?
Honestly, sometimes, yeah, Dobermans are great. I think people think that they're going to get this big, tough, dog, and it's not. They're massive babies. They think that they're lap dogs. They want to be next to us all of the time, and they can't be.
Oh, that's so lovely. Oh, what a wonderful family life. So you must go on lots of lovely dog walks and everything.
I wish. Right now we haven't been doing so great through quarantine, through COVID-19.
Sure.
Actually, I have gotten out a lot more with them, but we have a backyard, so they go out multiple times a day for some exercise. Yeah.
Oh, good. So what did you do before you had kids?
So before I had kids, I was, and still technically am, I do still have, so complicated, I do still have a full-time job. I actually just recently let go. I lost my job due to COVID-19.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Honestly, it's okay. I'm a true believer that I'm a true believer that everything happens for a reason. So I think it was just time to exit that company at that time, and that's okay. So I work in the retail and fast food sector as a business coach. So my job really is just to go around in the area and the district and coach people on how to better run their business. I'm really people focused, so I usually focus on the customer, but then also the team itself within the 4 walls of the store. And that was really my job, and I absolutely love it. I love people to go. I'm a huge people person, so I love being able to go out and no 2 days are the same. And I like the flexibility of being on the road. I really love that. So that was before kids, and in between the 2 kids, I did go back to work for a 1.5 years there before the second one popped out.
Yeah.
And now I'm on maternity leave. So in Canada, we get 12 or 18 months of protected maternity leave. So
That's awesome.
It's fantastic. We're so lucky. So I'm in month 9 of my 12 months now. So almost at the end. We'll see
is that fully paid, or is it a portion of your salary?
It's a portion of my salary paid by the government. So not quite at full salary capacity, but it's something. It's really great.
And a hell of a lot more than you get in America.
Yep. Right.
Shocking.
Yeah.
It's so messed up. But anyway, you're Canadian, so it's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so Heritage Slings. When did you start Heritage Slings?
I started it when I was on maternity leave with my son. So I was actually around this time, about 7 or 8 months in, I wanted another sling. And so I had my first one from another Canadian sling brand and absolutely fell in love with it. And then got a second one. And then I wanted a third one. And I was quickly learning why people get addicted to these. And I had been in a couple of Facebook groups and things. I was like, how do these women have like 8, 10 slings? Like, what is going on? And I very quickly fell prey.
Yeah.
So I want a third one. I started looking to all the different brands. Sorry.
Okay.
Come here. Go this way. Okay. I started looking into all the different brands, and not that there aren't some amazing sling brands out there, but there wasn't one that had all of the things I wanted in it. So I wanted a brand that was giving back no matter how small the company was. I wanted really good fabric. I wanted good quality rings. I wanted it to be body inclusive. I'm not a big girl, but I'm kind of that like heavier mid-sized woman, you know.
Same.
Yeah, you know, I'm in North American sizing. I'm a size 12 to 14 depending on where I shop, and I have an F cup chest, so you know, it adds up. And then carrying a baby in the winter who's wearing a coat and I'm wearing a coat and my size and my boobs, I need a good piece of fabric to be able to fit around all of that. And so I was having a hard time finding one that was the right price, from the right brand, at the right size, and that was stylish without being flashy. Boy, was I picky. And then I thought, let me try and make one. I had this dusted old sewing machine from my grandmother that she bought in the 70s, and it was just like a little, I think they call it like a pocket sewing machine, even though it's not, it doesn't fit in a pocket, but it was a teeny tiny little sewing machine. I hadn't used a sewing machine since I was a teenager, and I thought, you know what, let me just give it a whirl. Went to the fabric store, bought some fabric after reading a really, really bad instructional about how to make one. And I thought, it's just for me. Let me do it. So I made one, made 1,000 mistakes on it, and then said, I need to do another one because I messed up. So I did.
That's the best way to learn, though. Yeah. Learn by doing.
Yeah.
And you're learning from your mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to quit halfway through because I started making mistakes just about from the beginning. And but I was smart enough that I ordered multiple rings. When I found the rings, I bought multiple rings, and my husband is an engineer. And so he goes, the process of designing and engineering is you finish your prototype to absolute completion. And I was like, yeah, but it's messed up. He said, no, you finish the prototype to completion because then you can create a list of all the things, you okay? Of all the things you need to fix the next time you go around. And so I did, finished it to completion. I still have that sling to this day. I don't use it. I can't. It's not safe. But I have it as a reminder of what my very first sling looked like.
Yeah.
It hangs in the bedroom and everything so I can see it. And then from there, I started looking into the compliance standards and sourcing fabrics and what fabrics were good. And I was completely consumed reading videos about different fabrics and linens and why linen and the process of creating, going from the flax plant to a beautiful piece of linen. And I thought, you know what's stopping me from just doing a couple of these? And I thought, I'd just do an Etsy shop. There's a bunch of them out on Etsy. Yeah. That very quickly turned to Etsy is not the place I want to sell a ring sling. There are so many ring slings that you can find on Etsy that are not great quality or aren't necessarily created with the standards in mind. Honestly, a lot of cheap Chinese like drop ship type slings that you just don't know who's making it, where it's coming from, the integrity of the fabric. And I thought, no, I don't want to get mixed up in that crowd. I want to be my own standalone ring sling brand where I can prove that the product.
I get a lot of those cheap Chinese Etsy ring slings in with my clients when I go to get it because they see it, it's cheap, they buy it, and then they find out why it's cheap.
Exactly. And just, you have to think, you're carrying your baby in that, your pride and joy that you have probably worked really hard for and that you love very much. You want to know that you have your baby wrapped up in something safe and cozy and made well. So I just started and I kind of just jumped in, and I think I launched on Instagram officially 2 months to the day that I returned to work full time. Yeah. So it was a little crazy. And then my line went live a few months after I'd been back at work already. So then life got really crazy. And then we were pregnant again. That hit us by surprise. And then now here I am. It's just kind of scaled from there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So when you said you got your first sling, was that a ring sling then?
Yeah, it was a ring sling. So when I was pregnant with my son, I always knew I wanted to be a baby wearing mom. I always knew I'd be a little bit crunchy. And I would just hear parenting styles and things like that. I always knew I wanted to be a mom. Growing up, it was, Kayleigh, what do you want to be when you grow up? A mom. I will have a job too, but that's secondary to the fact that I will be a mother. So
yeah. I always grew up with a very strong sense of wanting children as well.
Yeah. And so I would listen to parenting styles and things like that. And I always would see women carrying their babies and these images of women with their babies close to them. And something about it just felt like that was the answer for me. And I can never understand why that wouldn't have been the answer for absolutely everyone, but I can't parent for other people. And so when I was pregnant, like the first thing I bought was a baby carrier. And
what was it? Was it a ring sling?
It wasn't. The first one I bought, I think, was just a stretch wrap, because I did have some friends who had babies, and they're like, trust me, no matter what you end up using, when your baby's teeny tiny, this is the answer. And I, to this day, wholeheartedly agree with that comment. My stretch wrap is lived in when I have a newborn. Yeah. Lived in. It's only not on me when I'm sleeping or in the shower, which isn't really often. So
yeah, when you got a newborn, you're not showering that much. Yeah,
you're not sleeping, you're not showering. So
exactly.
Yeah, lived in completely. And then from there, I had a Tula, which I still, now that Avery is older, love our Tula. And we have a Becco structured carrier for carrying out. When we go to the zoo, we like to put the baby in that so that she can see the animals and face out. But if it's carrying in the mall or down the street to the mailbox, around the house, family gatherings are my favorite use for a ring sling. But it's so versatile. My toddler still sometimes wants an up, and I can put him in the exact same sling that the baby just came out of. So that's pretty big. And then they're like so cute.
Yeah, no, that's it. No, that's another thing that I love about ring slings as well, because my kids are 2 and 4 now. Yeah. And it's like a ring sling is the perfect just in case carrier to have in my bag, because they don't need carrying all the time. But if one of them does want carrying, I only need one ring sling, which can carry. I have been caught out though when I'll be carrying one and then the other one wants to come up as well, and I'm like, I haven't got another thing.
Yeah, it's happened to me. It's like, listen, no, you have big boy legs, you use them.
Yeah, that's it. Your sister is 2. Her legs are tiny. She can walk as far as you.
Exactly.
You can have a quick cuddle, but I'm going to have to put you down.
Yeah. Family gatherings have been, I think that was the time when I really realized that the sling was my favorite. My husband comes from a big family, and we'd have these family gatherings, and I'd have this little baby, and everyone would want to hold the baby, and that I'm totally the pass the baby mom. I'm perfectly fine with that, especially with my own family. And so I'd hand the baby around, but then the baby would get tired or cranky, and I don't want to remove myself from all the festivities. And so I could put the baby in the sling and nurse the baby in the sling, or just rock that baby to sleep. Just last weekend, we went to a toddler birthday party, and my son was having fun. All the parents were, hanging out, social distance, hanging out. Yeah. And I put the baby on me, and she fell asleep and had a good 45-minute nap. So it's nice. It's nice that I could still feel part of the social gathering, but also comfort my baby at the same time. And I think from a mental health perspective, for me, I think when moms can stop removing themselves from situations, stop removing themselves from a conversation or the gathering around the Christmas tree even, that isolation of being a new mom can go away a little bit. It's never going to go away fully. There's some things that are just solely on the mom when you have a new baby.
Yeah, like being at family gatherings, for example, a few decades ago, you would have been encouraged to leave the room to feed the baby.
Yes.
Not encouraged, you'd have been expected to leave the room.
Yeah. Yes.
And leave the room to put the baby to sleep. Leave the room to do all this, So, Heritage Baby Designs. Where did the name come from?
So, I wanted a theme because we're all familiar with some of the bigger sling brands. They have themes to their names, and not just the biggest ones, some of the smaller ones do too. And I thought, I could play with that. That'd be fun. And so for a few days, I thought of trees. I kept thinking trees would be really cool. And my husband said, I think you're going to run out of trees. We argued about this a little bit. And I was like, I think there are more trees than you're giving nature credit for. Like, there's something like 1,000 different species of worm. I could go with worms for my theme, and that would still be enough. But I said, maybe not trees, but I liked that idea. And then I thought family tree in some kind of way, and then it would still be trees. And I said it could be trees from places. And it kind of evolved into, well, why not just the places? And I thought, oh yeah, that kind of works. I said, but I don't want it to be so obscure, because a place could be a lake, a city, a blah, blah, blah. But I didn't want it to be as narrow as just a country either. And so I thought, well, what about where people are from? And it's so important to us in our house. I'm of Jamaican Guyanese descent, so Jamaican on my mom's side, Guyanese on my dad's side, and then my husband is Portuguese, and we're both very much tied to our heritage. And we're both Canadian born and super, super proud to be Canadian born. And so we feel really tied to that also. But there's something about coming from an immigrant family that is really special to us. So I thought, you know what, our heritage, like, that's a big topic in our home, especially being in a mixed heritage home. It's a huge topic. And so I went with it, and I said heritage. And then I was just going to make it heritage slings, which is why a few of my things do say heritage slings, because I started out that way. And then I felt it.
Get the baby.
Okay. Come here.
Oh, baby.
Oh, she's okay. She got her finger stuck in a toy.
Oh, was it your bad finger?
No, the other hand, of course.
Oh, no.
Can I put you down? You good to go play? Should we go play now? Nope. Okay, you're coming with me. Coming with me for a minute. So, yeah, so heritage slings was what it was for a while. And then I thought that kind of pigeonholed me. I said, what if I want to do another type of carrier or an accessory or something? I want it to be a little bit more accessible to things like that. Baby Designs is what I landed on for the legal name. And then, but I really just go by heritage.
Just heritage.
Heritage, nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
And talking of your heritage, were you carried much as a child? Was your husband carried much as a child?
So my husband, no, I would say, but so he's the second of three, and they're all 3 years apart. So there was a toddler around when he was a baby, and then by the time he was a toddler, there was another baby. And so I think there was still a lot of contact, though. His family is a really affectionate family, so I don't, without a carrier or a sling of some kind, I think there was still a lot of touch involved with his upbringing. And I would say similar with me. My mom always looks at my slings and she's like, I wish I had that when I had you.
That's what my mom always says, constantly.
Yeah. My mom was a single mother and had me quite young, and she was studying. She was in school when she had me little. And I can only imagine how amazing it would have been for her to have me nap on her in a sling or nurse me in the sling, so that she could keep studying, keep reading or something, instead of probably bopping me up and down. I know we shared a bed apparently till I was 3. We bed shared, my mom and I. So yeah, still a very, very affectionate, very hands-on type of parenting. Definitely attached. My mom was just leaving when I patched into the call because we're so close. My mom is
brilliant.
Yeah.
Has she carried your 2 children now? She has. Now?
Yeah, she has. Actually, with you, I don't know if she has, but with my son, I have pictures of her in the sling, and it's pretty special to watch my mom with the babies. It's really fun to watch her be a grandma.
Yeah, definitely. I love watching my parents when they carry my kids. It's so lovely. You've named your slings after places important to you and your husband. Care to share any stories about why they're special to you?
So one of them is Tuscany, which is no longer I have nothing in stock at the moment, actually. Restocking very soon in the next couple of weeks. I actually probably have fabric at my front door. But Tuscany is, as you can imagine, like a deep red, like Tuscan wine. And For our honeymoon, we went to Italy and we were there for 2 weeks. I had been to Rome as a teenager and loved it. And so I said, I'd like to go back, as I had the best. I got to live in Switzerland for the summer and took a long weekend. It was like a 5-day weekend to Rome with some friends. Fell in love, never got to go back. And so this was probably 8-10 years later. I was still dreaming of going back to Italy. So I mentioned it to him and he said, oh yeah, I've never been. I've been to Portugal, but that's Europe for me. So
yeah,
we did 2 weeks in Italy and that we would see as much of Italy as we could in 2 weeks. So it took us a long time to plot out a map. We finally settled.
There's so much.
You can't do
no,
the whole
you can't do it in 2 weeks, no.
And it's not even large. The crazy part, it's not even that big.
Compared to Canada, yeah, it's tiny. I mean, the whole of Europe fits into Canada 2 or 3 times, I'm sure.
Exactly. The joke is I haven't even seen my whole country yet, and I really need to. So, but yeah, we landed on Italy, and we kind of did the center, like kind of like the fun center of Italy. But Tuscany sat with us, and not so much Rome, which is kind of bordering, but Florence absolutely stole our hearts. And to this day, it's now 5 years later almost, and we still talk about it weekly, about how much we loved it there. We want to go back. We want to go back and just spend time in Tuscany alone, and not travel the rest of it. It was so beautiful. So just tons of memories there. And it was the greatest, I think it was 3 days. It was the greatest 3 days. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So you got Tuscany.
Mm-hmm.
Any others?
So right now in front of me, I'm looking at Harbor. So that's this one here. This one here.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this is like a neutral gingham tight. And this was actually ordered totally by mistake. And I got it in. I thought, you know what? Let me make it a sling. And they've sold out twice.
Wow.
Awesome. So I'm probably going to restock this one. And this one is named after this place called Harbour Inn, which is an inn here in Ontario. And it's a teeny tiny inn in a teeny tiny town called Brecon that's on a lagoon. The place, Brecon is known as Lagoon City. So it's on a lagoon, and it's this funny little harbor in that my family had timeshare at. It's no longer there, I don't think, or it's been bought out. But I used to call it my cottage because every year we would go once or twice for a week. Every summer we'd go fishing, and I'd get some camping in, and I'd get to go swimming in the lake. And that was kind of as close to a cottage as I got as a child. And so that's what that got named after. And then I'm looking at Ontario.
Yeah.
Which this one probably won't be restocked, but Ontario is my home. That's the province I live in. I was born here. My husband was born here. My mom was born here. So it is home. So that's that one. And then this one is Pompeii.
Oh, love it. Oh, did you go there on your honeymoon as well?
We did go there on our honeymoon as well. And I didn't name this one, so I do like to sometimes open it up and let other people name slings. So this one was suggested by someone else, and they said the brownish amber color made them think of volcanoes. And so
it does look like lava.
That's right. And we got to go to Pompeii, and we actually got to climb Vesuvius. So that was really cool. Really hard.
We did that on our honeymoon as well.
It's wild. Like at the bottom, you're stifling. It's so hot. You're sweating. Then you get to the top and it's cold.
Yeah.
But still really damp. I was like, I'm wet. Why am I wet?
Yeah. It was so weird. It was so weird. We did actually pinch a little bit of rock to take home with us. So we've got a little bit of Vesuvius on our shelf.
We have a little Vesuvius on our shelf in the living room here. But yeah, so those are the 3 that I'm looking at. Those are the little stories behind them.
Oh, gorgeous.
So yeah, I have ideas for other names, but the color needs to speak to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's what's really beautiful about your ring slings as well, is that all the fabrics you've chosen, they all complement each other really well, and they all fit a really nice color palette. And like you say, they're not really flashy and loud and bright and in your face, and they're not the pale gender gendered colors that all other kids stuff comes in. Like,
that's right.
They're more elegant and they're cool, you know, like they're just, yeah, they're absolutely stunning. I keep meaning to ask you as well, do you ship to the UK? Because I will probably need to be getting myself one, if not.
I haven't, but I do ship internationally. Like my orders aren't closed to anywhere in the world. Can you be quiet? But I haven't shipped out there, but I totally will. I have family in England. I have actually pretty strong ties to England, so I'd love to ship you one.
Good, right.
Yeah.
I will hop on and get that ordered probably tomorrow now, but yeah, cool. Right, so tell me about your work with Plan International Canada and why you want to support them through your business.
Yeah, so when I started Heritage, I knew that I wanted to give back right away. And I think this is something a lot of businesses always have a plan to give back. And it's not to knock them for not doing it straight out the gate. It is, you do have to set yourself up in a special way to be able to do that and still sustain your business. You don't make a ton of money at the beginning of any business, and so you need to hold on to as much as you can. But with my full-time job, my husband makes, you know, a good living. I really wanted to give back right away. And so I started looking for different causes. I knew I wanted it to be female-centered, something for moms. I just think mothers are so sympathetic to other mothers, and I thought that would really be important to other women that are purchasing slings as well. And so I tried to find a smaller company or a smaller place to give back with, and Plan just kept coming back. And I've been donating to Plan for years and years. My husband and I have bought goats and carts and things from their Gifts of Hope program. And they have one gift in particular that was medicine for a mom and baby. And essentially, I don't know all the stats off the top of my head, but in order to, you know, thrive in life, you need to survive. And a lot of women in these developing countries and the babies don't make it far past the birthing stage because of illness or infection. Something as, you know, simple as a cold could spiral into God knows what. That here in the developed world, we would completely lose our minds over. How can that happen? But we have the resources that they don't. And so one sling purchased actually provides very tangibly one kit of medicine for one mom and a baby in a developing country. And I love the work that Plan does, always have, always will. So I feel really, really great about that partnership. I've done some off slings where the sling doesn't go towards Plan. So Pompeii, actually not Pompeii, I did one called Gunnison, which is a black sling. That one in particular went to Black Mothers Health Initiative. And I had another one that went towards Black businesses. So every now and again, I do a sling dedicated to a different cause. But if it's not listed in that listing for that sling that it's going to a different cause, you're purchasing medicine for mom and a baby.
Yeah, that's so amazing. It's such a wonderful thing to do. And as you say, like, you know, whenever any new business is starting out, the margins are so small, and the fact that you've from the beginning, like, it's just awesome, Kayleigh. It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
it really is.
I have the way my husband and I said it was, you know, we have our careers that are helping us live and survive, and we have so many means that even people, I'm sure, in our own neighborhood don't have. That, you know, people don't always share these things. Their kids going to school without breakfast and things like that. We don't have that problem in our home, thankfully. So what can we do to help someone somewhere? And so, that's kind of where that decision came from.
That's so awesome. Oh, you're such a good person.
I don't know. Definitely this part sounds really great.
Oh, bless you. Right. Okay. So, last question. What is your top tip for carrying for parents and caregivers?
My absolute top tip. So I'm going to cheat. I have two. So my one top tip for carrying is practice when everyone is slept, when everyone is fed, and everyone is calm. I cannot stress that enough. I get so many messages, I just can't get it, and I'm frustrated. And then my second tip is put the baby down. And it's my tip in new parenthood in general is put the baby down. If you're frustrated, if the baby's frustrated and nobody's getting anywhere with whatever you're looking to resolve, put the baby down, walk away, get a sip of water, take a deep breath. If it's nice, you need some fresh, step outside to make sure that the baby's down in a safe place, but it's not worth whatever could happen if you're so frustrated, the baby's so frustrated. Baby will, crying sucks, yes, but the baby will be okay. Take a deep breath and come back, try again. But yeah, fed, happy enough. Fed, but mostly fed and slept, you know? So I always tell mothers who are new to it, I said, wake up, you know, with the baby, baby's just had a nap, nurse the baby, feed the baby, however you feed your baby, and then get the sling. So don't wait for the baby to be upset. Don't wait for you to feel like you need the sling to get through an activity or a task. Do it when you don't need it first. That way, when you do need it, it will be so much easier. You'll be well practiced. The baby could be wiggling or crying, or you could be out in public, or you could be hungry and feeling faint. You're still going to be able to execute putting the baby in safely and go about the task at hand. So those are my 1.5 tips.
No, that's awesome. Honestly, like I get so many clients come to me and they say, oh, my baby just really hates the sling. They absolutely hate it. And then when I talk to them about their experience so far, they only ever got it out when their kid was crying.
Yeah.
So therefore, not only is the kid stressed out, they're stressed out because naturally all of our hormones go crazy and our stress levels go through the roof. Exactly. And we get flustered, as you say, and then the kid starts developing a negative association and they start associating the sling with something bad. And then the mother, the parent, the caregiver, they then start fearing putting them in the sling and they get anxious because they know the child is going to cry.
Snowball is this big now.
Yeah, and it becomes this really big vicious cycle that is really hard to break sometimes. But yeah, like you say, when you start that happening, it is okay to put your baby down for a few minutes, take a breath, to gather yourself, recenter yourself, and then go back
get
to
back
baby, ready to try again.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah, and I think you hit something there. I think a lot of people think the sling is just for pacifying, is just for soothing. Oh my gosh, no, listen, do you only eat chocolate when you're upset? No, you eat it when you're happy too. You eat it all the time, you know?
You eat it when both kids are sleeping and you got time on your own.
I was just going to say, literally, I'm about to go get chocolate when we get off this because my toddler's in bed. So I can eat some chocolate in peace.
Without having to share it.
Without having to share it. So, you know, the sling isn't just for, sometimes the baby's just all up in my stuff when I'm trying to cook and I'm stepping on her. I'm like, you know what? You're coming with me. Because this is going to make my life easier. And she's happy. She gets to experience life up at my level developmentally for her. That's so amazing that she gets to experience the world at human height. You know, from little, from when she's teeny tiny, she can start experiencing the world from where everything is meant for normal sized people, which is a huge problem there. But you know, the world is built for you to be between the height of 5 feet and 6 feet, and so when you're 2 feet tall, it's not quite accessible. So yeah, she loves to watch me cook, or she likes to watch me sew. She'll still sit in the sling while I sew slings, which is awesome.
Nice. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. Cool. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast. I'm so glad we made it happen in the end.
Me too.
So where can people find you if they want to follow up?
Yes, so I am Heritage Baby Designs across Facebook and Instagram. No Twitter for me. I never understood it. Never caught on. Same. My website is heritagebaby.ca, and that's where they can find absolutely everything. And I'm always in my DMs, so if anyone has any questions, you'll find me there.
Amazing. Thank you so much again. It's been really, really lovely to chat to you properly.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's great.
You've been listening to the MotherRucker podcast with me, Lysanne Skinner. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok at MotherRucker UK and on YouTube. If you have a question you'd like me to answer on the podcast, please send an email to podcast@motherrucker.co.uk. If you need help with carrying, I'm available for online and in-person consultations 5 days a week. Please go to www.motherrucker.co.uk for more information. Please continue to like and share and spread the news. I want as many people to be listening to this podcast as possible so we can spread the word about baby wearing and how awesome and lovely it is.